Hello everyone! FungalZombie here with their first list ever. Now, knowing my fan base, our first list will be horror related. So, without further ado, here's a list I comprised of the most terrifying, shocking, or disturbing things I've seen in media or experienced myself. Most of these you've probably already heard of, but if you haven't, I suggest looking into them. They can be pretty entertaining or interesting, and above all, bone-chilling. So, if you're into a good scare, we've got something for you. Starting out with number 10. Bloody Mary. There's many variations of the ritual of which to summon the ghastly apparition of Bloody Mary. Most of the studies reveal chanting her name and carrying a candle as light as the main means to do so. The method is one of the more simple ghostly rituals out there, and therefore is popular among preteens and teens alike. Legend has it that if you hold a candle, chant her name, and look into a mirror, a woman covered in blood will appear before you, either screaming or putting a curse upon you. It sounds foolish, but thrill seekers will do just about anything. There can be some explanation behind this, as in a dark room the brain can hallucinate and warp images. Scary Game, or Scary Maze Game. I'm sure everyone and their dog knows about this game, but I thought I might as well make it my number 9. When I was younger, say about 13, I was introduced unwittingly to this game. Simple as it is in construct, it is ingeniously designed. The goal of the game is to lead your cursor along the highlighted maze path, without hitting the edges. The more you go along, the more difficult it gets, until right near the end, there's a near impossible set of turns. Should you try to focus on getting through it, you are presented with a screamer. Originally when I played it, it was some deranged baby picture, but it's more recently changed to the face from The Exorcist. Five Nights at Freddy's, the popular game that was simple in how you play it, by the fact that you yourself don't actually move. It's a game where you're the security guard in a pizzeria that is home to many animatronics. The animatronics move at night and have a tendency for murder. You're guided through the routines by a man on the phone who also drops hints about the lore in his calls. You're haunted by 4 animatronics in the first game: Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, and lastly, Foxy, who doesn't come out if you keep tabs on his location. This game has been scary to many people, myself included, but also draws in new players with its large fan base. The Fort Garry Hotel. A luxurious hotel in Winnipeg, Canada, with a spooky reputation. According to folklore, a woman hung herself in the closet of room 202. What makes this one of my choices is the fact that I was once walking along Broadway and I was compelled to look upwards. I felt like something was watching me. When I asked what the building was, I was answered with the Fort Garry Hotel, to which I was unaware of where it was, but not of its history. I would say to me, there's no doubt something is up with that building. Dead Birds. If you haven't seen this movie yet, please do. It combines Western and horror in a very harmonious way. A group of bandits hold up in a plantation house overnight. Things seriously start taking a turn for the worse. Tensions rise and suspicions do too. There are many disturbing and frightening scenes in this movie that will have you on the edge of your seat. Robert the Doll. A true story about a possessed doll who was a young boy's toy. He would often blame strange occurrences on the toy. The furniture would be left upturned, his other toys mutilated. All the while, the child pleaded that the doll was the cause. The doll currently resides in a museum and is known for putting hexes on those who take his photo without asking first. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. This brooding horror game was made popular by thrill-seeking YouTubers, and thusly has become a staple for Let's Players of the horror variety. This game has you as the main protagonist, Daniel, whose goal is to travel to the inner sanctum of the castle and kill Alexander. All the while, a red goopy thing chases him, causing devastation and chaos wherever he goes. Not only that, but also Alexander's messed up servants who look like they've seen better days. The game is popular with good reason. The scares come at very specific times, well-placed times, and the game is simply dripping with atmosphere, which will leave you jittery, wondering, what was that sound? Teke Teke. It was hard to pick just one favorite Japanese urban legend for this. The urban legend is of a young woman who fell on the railways and was cut in half. She travels on the ground with her hands dragging herself along, making a teke teke sound. If you encounter her and are not fast enough, she will cut you in half like herself, with a scythe. The Thing, probably one of the only movies that can actually scare me. The creature is able to mimic humans and animals, but often loses its form, creating horrific monstrosities. Whether it be the John Carpenter's version or the CGI prequel, it's certain to send chills down your spine. The sounds the monster makes and the horrendous shapes it makes is the making of a true horror movie. And lastly, Bong Cheon Dong Ghost. Aside from being a popular comic with a jump scare that is one to behold, this is boasted as a true story. It's a story about a young girl on her way home in an apartment complex at night. She comes across a disheveled-looking lady walking ahead of her. She doesn't feel right passing her, so she stops in her tracks. The ghost then reveals herself with a horrible face and a set of blood-red eyes and asks for her baby. I'll link the comic in the description, but be warned, it's very scary. So that's it for my list. Have your own list, own videos, other cool stories or findings? Post them in the comments section below. And I will see you later.